In January 2026, roughly 5 million people filled the streets of Tehran and other major cities. This was the largest anti-government movement in Iran since 1979, and the state's response was lethal, resulting in thousands of documented deaths. As Iran's domestic crisis intensified, the United States began the largest military buildup in the region since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. By mid-February, the aircraft carriers USS Abraham Lincoln and USS Gerald R. Ford were positioned in the Persian Gulf, alongside dozens of guided missile destroyers. Despite the visible mobilization, secret diplomacy was progressing. In the Omani capital of Muscat, negotiators were finalizing a deal for Iran to permanently end uranium enrichment and allow full verification by the IAEA. By February 27th, peace was reportedly within reach. That diplomatic path vanished at 9:45 a.m. on February 28th. The U.S. and Israel launched a sudden, coordinated assault across Iran, Operation Epic Fury. The airstrikes began during active nuclear negotiations, effectively ending a historic diplomatic breakthrough just hours before it was set to be finalized. The opening salvos were designed for maximum impact. Israeli jets and American missiles targeted the Leadership House and the National Security Council in Tehran, assassinating Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, along with the Iranian Defense Minister and the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces. President Donald Trump justified the assault as a preemptive move to prevent nuclear weaponization. His administration explicitly called on the Iranian people to use the chaos to overthrow their remaining government and install the opposition. While the White House described the strikes as precise, the ground reality was different. In Minab, an American missile struck a girls' elementary school, killing over 175 people. This was one of many reports of civilian infrastructure, including hospitals and residential squares, being hit in the initial wave. The strategic goal was to paralyze the Iranian state by removing its central command. But the operation left a critical question: does decapitating the leadership neutralize the threat, or simply kick a hornet's nest? Iran's response was immediate. Under Operation True Promise 4, the military launched a massive barrage of ballistic missiles and drones targeting U.S. and Israeli assets. The retaliation spread across the entire map. Missiles struck Tel Aviv and Haifa, but they also hit American bases in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar. Within days, the conflict pulled in proxy forces across the region. Armed groups in Iraq and Syria targeted U.S. bases, while full-scale war erupted in Lebanon, displacing 1/6 of the population. The effort to preemptively disarm Iran did the opposite. It activated a fully synchronized multi-front war moving far beyond a direct exchange between two nations. As the battlefield expanded, Iran activated its most significant strategic leverage point, the Strait of Hormuz. This single waterway is the exit for 1/4 of the world's seaborne oil trade and 20% of its liquefied natural gas. When Iran closed the strait to its enemies, it effectively trapped these resources inside the Persian Gulf. The impact was global and immediate. Regional states closed their airspace, shipping insurance rates skyrocketed, and the head of the IEA called it the greatest energy security challenge in history. This chart shows the result: a sudden, violent spike in global energy costs. Crude oil prices surged to $114 a barrel, the highest since the pandemic, threatening to pull the global economy into a recession. While the missiles were landing in the Middle East, the economic shockwave ensured that no corner of the global economy remained untouched by the war. 1 month into the conflict, the geopolitical consequences arrived in the American Midwest. Minneapolis and St. Paul became the center of the No Kings movement, a protest millions of people strong that swept through dozens of American cities. The movement was driven by a convergence of local and global grievances: the high cost of a new foreign war, record-high living expenses at home, and the fatal shootings of local residents by federal agents during immigration operations in January. In St. Paul, thousands gathered on the Capitol lawn waving large upside-down American flags, a traditional signal of deep national distress. The White House dismissed the scale of the unrest, characterizing the millions of marchers as a manufactured network of leftist protesters rather than a genuine domestic crisis. A war launched to project supremacy and force regime change in Tehran ended by fracturing the global economy and triggering the largest anti-authoritarian uprising at home in decades.